It's time. Clearly, we are missing a few people, but we've gained a fine replacement. You know what I mean? I Make Mad Beats and Elo are late. So if you in the chat, which nobody is in the chat right now,
they might be watching the VOD.
Yeah. So if anybody's watching, come to the chat and go ahead and talk shit about them. It's all good. But I want to shout out Shira right now.
What's up?
Shira engineer. You know what I mean? Is that it? Is it just Shira, or do you got something Shira engineer?
Yeah, it's just Shira.
Okay.
It's just, you're just doing it one word.
Shira Hira.
Yeah.
Shira Hirza. Your mix. Okay.
Ooh.
Bars.
Let's go.
But yeah, come up closer because we gotta shout out something special, man.
Shout out this joint right here.
Vagina.
Shout out Vagina. Shout out all the vaginas.
Shout out her vagina.
Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the vaginas out here.
Shout out to all the vaginas. The payers.
As a member of Unapologetic Garments, go ahead and tell the people what this is, man.
Yes, Sarsky. That is the vagina hat from Unapologetic Garments, our first collection, creatively designed and executed by the homegirl Sarai, aka Cerizzle, aka Nina, aka Narai. You feel me? So she killed it. She put together these. We got a hat. We got the vagina tee shirt.
Two
colorways, black and white. You feel me? With their print on it. And they look amazing. The vaginas look amazing.
The vagina is looking good,
and it feels amazing too. Like
whoa, pause. Let's pause.
How does the head feel in the vagina?
The head feels really nice.
Sheesh.
Bro, it's super comfortable, John.
Is it tight?
It's tight.
Is it tight or is it just right? You know what I mean?
It's just right.
Okay, yeah.
See, whatever. It's one of the quality vaginas.
It expands to the shape of your head. It's adjustable.
Sheesh.
Exactly.
Adjustable.
Man, it feels really good. It's soft. It feels. I'm telling you, I ain't finna take it off.
Yeah,
y'all.
bro.
Like,
So yeah,
You're not taking the vagina off.
that's available. Where can people
you.
cop that, man? Where can people cop that?
Yeah, so you can cop that at unapologeticstore.com. You can go to the Unapologetic World app, search that, iOS and Android.
Let's get it.
You can go to Unapologetic Garments on IG, link in bio.
Let's go.
Bio.
Let's fucking go.
You feel me?
I wish we could drop. Could we drop the link in here? Can you pin a link?
Yeah, you can.
In the chat.
You can type it in the chat.
Unapologetic.
Or paste it in the chat.
Yeah, let me go ahead and paste it because I don't want to mess it up. I got
Don't fuck it up, bro. Yeah, you got terrible typo history, my guy.
Bro, gonna link into a whole nother vagina.
Right.
But nah, this is like legit. On real. I got dreads.
Yeah, and it's looking right.
Yes.
Even the vagina is looking right over the dreads. I don't know how they work, but that's how it's working.
Unapologetic store.
Yes.
Damn.
I gotta cop that and the tube.
Bro, I don't know what's going on. Let me turn this thing sleep.
Oh yeah, it's on talk to text.
Turn it off. Okay.
Turn it up.
Flag.
It's pretty accurate though. I'll say that.
Step.
Unapologetic store. Hold on, y'all. I better drop this link.
Y'all go cop y'all.
Vagina, yes, exactly. Right off top. Damn, these pictures look good as hell.
Yeah, you shout out to Gabby. You
Yeah,
feel me?
shout out to
G
Gabby.
Duffy.
Killing it.
You dig? She killed those.
Gabrielle, is she going by Gabrielle these days?
I don't know, man. I just Gabrielle, G Duffy. I don't know, man.
How do I pin this? Can I pin this?
You can't pin it. I would just spam it
Okay.
a few times.
Spam. Vagina, yeah. Available everywhere.
Everywhere unapologetically.
It's plentiful out here. Yeah, bro. But really, check out all the content around there because we showed y'all what it is, but like, I think it really takes Narai, aka Nina, aka Sarai, aka Cerizzle, to really like, the meaning behind it is dope. It's not like we just felt like putting vagina on the joint. So.
Exactly. super clutch, man. Y'all get paid.
Super clutch vagina. I would, bro, but I feel ever since I started growing hair, hats don't really rock. I don't really rock hats
Hey,
like that.
she got dreads, bro. That's no excuse. You feel me?
I got.
She got way more hair than you, my guy.
But it just don't. It hasn't been fitting right. But the vagina might. You know what I'm saying?
This vagina does, bro. This vagina does. this one, I instantly put that joint on. It was like I ain't gonna lie. I was a little skeptical, duckbill hats, but I was like, all right, bet. And just like, and I was like, dang.
This is it.
This is it. This is the thing.
Apologetic garments, man. Got quality stuff, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm about to see y'all later, bro.
That man said, yeah, I'm out. I don't want to be in here. Y'all niggas, goodbye. All right, so what we talking about, yeah? What we talking about?
I'm trying to see which one would be most interesting.
Yo, so we missing one of our cameras. This is the GoPro, just so y'all know. So we trying to get our shadows and everything right. Normally with the A7S, we don't have issues like this.
Yo.
So we trying to figure this out.
Shouts to Smeagol.
Ah, my man Elo, I Make Mad Beats have arrived.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man.
Sir.
We just got done shouting out Vagina.
Damn, that's y'all shout out.
Yeah. Cheer came
That's
through,
what's up,
modeled the hat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all modeled the vagina hat.
Exactly. We figured out how the head fit inside.
Sheesh.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheer said, "Have you ever had a beat
Said,
that you weren't particularly a fan of, or thought it was your beat that everyone else liked? Does it matter that you don't like something as long as the audience or consumer does?"
That
I know for me, I definitely have had. I was, that suggestion was put in our list of topics a little while ago, and I was thinking about it. I was like, bro, like, I know I felt this feeling before, but I could not like think of anything. But I do remember there's a song, it's unreleased, that me and Kevin DeLeban are working on.
shout out Kevin, man.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. I gotta reach out. You gotta catch up.
I love you, bro.
We love you, Kevin DeLeban. I make mad beats in this joint.
Are you good?
But yeah, we were working on this song, and I like sampled just the sample. I don't know, it was just on some goofy stuff, and it doesn't sound bad, but like it just, I couldn't figure out like how to take it anywhere else. So I felt like it was just very much just a loop, but not like one of those loops that I personally, some loops is just like, oh, this the vibe, and then some stuff like needs a B section, and I just like the sample just didn't have anything else to like really set that up, so I switched it up and everything. I was like, oh, I made it nice and like groovy. I gave it like a legit vibe. I switched up the chords, everything, and he was like, nah, take it back to
That's not it.
put it back to the original. And I was like, dang, bruh. But yeah, it's interesting, man, like when people just like your stuff that you don't, you know what I'm saying. But when you're working with an artist and they're like, nah, I like this beat the way it is, and you're like, this,
Right.
it's interesting. But in that case, the second part of the question is, does it matter? I think it does matter, but it's just like, what do you default to, right? I think a lot of times it was the artist wins in that situation. So
Right.
Yeah.
just try to make beats you like. That's the moral of the story.
Exactly.
Nah, that shit used to happen to me all the time, and it still happen to me now. But like all the time, like a couple years ago or a few years ago, before I really kind of found out like a system and kind of like a sound. But I would play beats all the time for like artists or rappers, and then I would be like, I'd be in like Finder, and so you scroll down and it's gonna play everything. Like,
Yep.
And so I was, trying to get to the next beat, something else would start, and they'd be like, "Yo, what's that?" And I'd be like, "Nah, that ain't the one I'm trying to play. I'm trying to go to this." They'd be like, "Nah, let me hear that one." And every time it's the one that I'm not trying to play, it'd be like, "That's the one." They like catch somebody ear or a rapper hear themselves. And what I noticed is that like the beats I was trying to play was like these full produced, like complete ideas, hella sounds, hella whatever, drums, all of this shit. And the ones that I wasn't was like ideas, like loops, like stuff that I wasn't done with or I thought I wasn't done with. And it was just easier for artists to see themselves in that versus like the full, too much stuff going on type of junk. And so that kind of helped me like like work back on my like production style type deal. But yeah, I definitely think like depending on what type of producer you are, that matters. To me, like I'm a for the artist super type producer, and so like a lot of the times I'm with whatever who I'm working with is on. Like I don't have like a particular vibe that I'm not like on the for, like when you go to Pharrell, you know what you like, he gonna write the whole song and you gonna hear like every Pharrell song, and no matter who's singing it, I hear Pharrell. Like Justin Timberlake, whoever the fuck singing that shit, I can hear Pharrell. Timberland, I know his, like, you know what you're going for with those. I liken myself to more of like a Kenny Beats or whoever like I'm working with. That's the vibe I'm on. So to me, that matters a lot. You know, not necessarily with the audience, but what the artist I'm working with thinks. And then we'll go from there. Like if we both feel comfortable with it, then I'm good. And then it's rare. I do have those moments where it's like I don't give a fuck. Like this is the one. This is the beat. This is how it goes. I have the idea. I have how I hear, you know, the flow on it and everything. And those are, you know, that's real special for me because I rarely have those moments. And so if I do get those moments, I know that it's special. And sometimes those beats just sit in my Dropbox because I don't be even trusting like the vision to be executed sometimes. And so yeah, that's definitely, I definitely had that like a lot. I have it a lot less now, but I definitely used to have it a lot.
Yeah. What's up, fools?
What's up?
That's good.
What's going on? What's the question?
The question was, have you ever had a beat that you weren't particularly a fan of? Does it matter if you don't like something as long as the audience / consumer does?
Have I ever made a beat I didn't like but other people liked?
Yeah.
And went with it?
Yeah.
I feel like the answer is yes. Can't remember any specific instance, but that feels like an emotion that I've definitely exercised before.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
when that question first popped up, I was saying the same thing. It was like, bro, I know this is true for me, but I can't really think of a specific example.
Yeah. I think, you know what I think it is though? I think because most people kind of trust me in post-production, I think it might be a beat that wasn't, it was like, I don't know. And people would be like, yeah, we should use that one. We should rap. We should make a song on that one. And then in the mix, I'll make it something that I can be, you know what I'm saying? That I can kind of shout out and feel more proud about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But maybe early on. So I still have the ability to kind of sway it my way a bit. But I you know, one thing that does feel foreign is like I produced it and mixed it and did post-production on it and I still didn't feel it. I feel like that.
Right.
I don't know. I've made beats I thought it was whatever. I don't think I've ever mixed a song and just still didn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. For me, mixing is it's part of my production package, so I kind of include that in what's happening. You know. What's up, Woodrow?
Yeah, I was saying that there's definitely, I can think of a song that me and Kevin are working on. It's not done yet, but like in an attempt to get it done, like it started off as like we just pulled up a sample and I made like a loop and it had like this like almost bluesy kind of feel, like just the way the drums and the chops were, and that just really inspired him. But I was just kind of like whatever. I felt like I got caught like in the joke, but like it just is like it's keep going. So it's like, all right, cool. And then in trying to finish it, I was trying to do that, like, all right, let me sway it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, put it back.
Might block that shit. Might veto that shit.
So that's where I'm at. It's still not finished. So but it's been a while now. So maybe I have a fresh brain to like, you know, keep the original vibe and turn it into something that I was really, really liking. It's not bad. It's not like it's not one of those jumps where I'm like, I'm not really trying to shout this jump out, but it's not like, I feel like it's just hard to take to another place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the arrangement.
Yeah. Adam.
Huh?
Oh, no, go ahead, Elo. Yeah.
No, I was just saying,
Okay, yeah,
for me, I feel like that's kind of, I think that's happened, like, the opposite has happened more for me than, like, the other. I think I've definitely felt that feeling, but I have had more instances, and I can remember more instances where I would like show beats, and I'd be like, man, this shit hard as fuck, bro. Like, they gonna fuck with this. This is gonna be great, and they'd be like, yeah. Like, it definitely
Bro,
happened.
who be listening to your beats that don't fuck with it?
Right?
Okay, so like, well, and this was also during the
Let
era
me know so I
of
can smack these niggas.
nah. this was during the era of like
Streets.
yes, literally like and this was like sometime during the internship, like the beginning of the internship, and like even though I'm not the best I'm not really even like a mixer, but like I've realized the importance of mixing to production enough to where my beats have sounded a lot better. But back then it was just a lot of great ideas, but sonically it wasn't that great, which did not help when like, you know, like showing somebody like a beat that I made or whatever. But then also like past that, it was kind of like idea wise, like that was like kind of my first time. Okay, so context for this, like 7th grade, 8th grade, me, 2 other dudes made like a, you know what I'm saying, a rap group type shit. You know what I'm saying? Me, my nigga Cameron, my nigga Terrence, you know what I'm saying?
Woodrow.
Made a rap group type shit.
Woodrow, you gotta go.
And then I moved, niggas grew up, blah blah blah. We tried to bring it back, and so like we would meet up something like some days here and there, and I would just like show beats and like, okay, like what's up with me? But like at that point we were like we spent a lot of time apart. I spent so much time like in my own like box and in my own like just situation, so I had no idea, I had no frame of reference for what other people fucked with, like any of that stuff. And it wasn't like I made a beat off of like what they were feeling and stuff at the time. It was just I brought beats to them. So that's it was like, I don't know about that one. Some of them, but like it was a lot of them. It was just like Well, also, I don't think I have enough experience to fully answer that question. So,
It's
in
on the
terms
way,
of
my guy.
making stuff with people like I guess as much experience as y'all have for like working with artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like in the
It's definitely on the way, bro.
What about you, Adam?
I feel like I've
Just call him
experienced.
Adlam? My bad. Go ahead.
I feel like I've experienced that more in like songwriting sessions, like in a band setting or something, or like just in a songwriting situation in general, like where I'm like trying to figure out the next part and I play something trying to figure it out and the person's like, ooh, that's the thing, and I'm like, nah, bro,
I'm just fucking
that's
on.
not the thing. So I've definitely experienced that, and like Elo said, like I've definitely been on that thing where you're playing a beat that you really fuck with, and for some reason it just didn't translate to that person for whatever reason or whatever. I've had that happen. But yeah, I don't think it really matters. I just make shit for me. Like I make shit that I like, you know. And if everybody else likes it, that's kind of a bonus, you know.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Man, so also, well, you know, we're all artists too. So like, let's say, you know, you going through joints for Mad Songs Volume 30. You know what I'm saying? Or
Let's
whatever,
get it.
your next album, you know, your beat tape, whatever. And like you playing joints, and people are like, "Yo, you gotta put that on there. That shit is crazy, yo." And it's not something that you envision being on that project, or you just wasn't really feeling. Do you like 100% stay in on your vision, or do you be like, or do you allow space for people to like curate that, you know, based off their reactions?
I definitely, there's definitely that space, because like I won't work with anybody unless I really fuck with who they are as an artist in person. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like on the audience, like it's your project.
Oh, like
you know,
my
so,
project.
So, yeah, so like Mobius or whatever.
Right.
Like y'all, you play me a song, and I'm like, yo, that's got to be.
That's got to be on the project.
Yeah.
Nah, it's gonna be what I want it to be, or what I guess if it's Mobius, it'd be what we wanted it to be. You know what I mean? Because like, I feel like in the past, like we've put out stuff, like earlier shit that wasn't as like polished or like as fully thought out. You know what I mean? And like looking back, like some of those earlier shits, I wish we would have like done something else with it or something. I don't know, but like I feel like it's cool that it still exists out there because like you can see like growth, you know, and I feel like that's important too for people to kind of see that journey.
Feel that?
Because no one's like no one's like the greatest they'll be from the jump, you know what I mean? Like it's always like a steady incline of improvement, I think, at least for a lot of my favorite people.
I like that in theory, like the idea of that, because like, you know, leaving space for somebody who 9 times out of 10 will have different ideas and newer ideas and like different things I wouldn't have thought of. Like that type of collaboration can create something that only 2 people can make.
Right.
And it just makes the product, well, it just has a lot of potential to make the product a lot greater than it probably would have been had it just been you.
Right. And like in Mobius, me and our singer Harley, like he writes all the lyrics and we come up with the harmonies and melodies together, usually together in the same room. But like musically, like I usually just like make the whole song and just like show it to the guys and then have like Jalen play his bass part or whatever. And I'm not ever like telling him like, yo, play it like this type shit. It's just like play whatever he thinks. But of course there's like parameters because like he has to follow the chord changes and he has to be in time with the drums and that kind of thing. So yeah, collaboration is one of my favorite things about music because like you said, Elo, like you're gonna come out with something that you wouldn't have came out with if it was just you working on it, you know.
Yeah. There's no way anybody can convince me to put something on my project that I'm not like absolutely thinking is me. To me, that's the thing. My projects aren't about what's dope. It's about what's me.
Feel it.
And I believe cohesively that I'm dope. So
If it's you, then it's gonna be dope. Yeah.
absolutely.
I feel that for sure.
So, you know, I'll tell you want this for your project? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm telling a story on my project, and this wouldn't fit it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Feel that, G's.
Let's see. What is your first musical memory?
Man, what is my first musical memory? Elo's is like, you know, when Travis Scott first came out.
What?
I remember.
Like I was 2. You know
I remember
mean?
when
And
Kanye
Travis
dropped
Scott-
Graduation.
Exactly.
Bro, this is one of those like first date questions.
Right. First date. So we on a first date right now?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
It's an interesting date. It's a lot
Crazy.
of niggas on a date, man.
You know what I mean? It's 2021, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm gonna let one of y'all hold that down first.
My first musical memory. That shit is hard.
Y'all don't even
That
know.
shit is definitely hard. That's like more of a memory question than a music question.
Yeah.
Like, my memory is kaputs.
The one I
Well,
can
guess
remember.
in parentheses that you can recall.
Yeah, the one I
I
can
think I know
recall.
mine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the one I can recall.
Or maybe like one that's like stands out that got you into music. I guess that's where I was going with the question was like,
Yeah.
what's a memory, an early memory of music that got you into music that was kind of like,
Sheesh.
yo, I'm gonna do this forever.
That I don't think this is what got me into music, but this shit had me hype. I say that. My dad, my pops had a Chevy Cavalier. I don't know what year that motherfucker was. It might have been like a 96 or some shit. It's like an old Chevy Cavalier. And the man's, he always worked in like car audio and shit. So a nigga he had like 2 18s in the trunk. That shit used to beat, bro. Like I used to have to sit in the back seat because I was a kid. That shit used to like kill my chest. I used to hop out the car to go to school and my legs would be like wobbling because the bass was like murdering my ass. Like that shit used to be fun as hell to be the on it. That shit probably killed my ears, but that shit used to be lit. But my earliest like memory was like that and I feel like funny enough, like the album, he used to bump like a whole lot of hard shit, but the album that really did it for me was 100% by Genuine. Like that shit was fucking, bro. Timbaland murdered that album, bro. Like So Anxious, bro. That shit used to be crazy. The interludes on that bitch used to go crazy. Like at that point I had never heard a project where every fucking song slapped, drum slapped, like bass was slapping. And the nigga was singing, and so that shit like changed my whole. And I need to go back and revisit that album, like hear some of that shit as an adult. But that 100% by Genuine in the back of the Cavalier. That and then Super Duper Fly was a close second. Like I got introduced to Missy Elliott in that whip too, and that album is crazy too. But 100% by Genuine. It's something about Genuine and Timbaland's collab and chemistry that. It was crazy, but at that time I thought I was gonna hoop. I wasn't even on no like making music shit. I enjoy like beating on. I had a drum set and shit, but I wasn't like, I didn't think I was gonna do music, and so I was just listening as a fan. I think that might have been like one of the last times I listened to music as a fan too. Like from that point on, I feel like I was getting older and realizing that hoop wasn't gonna happen.
Damn.
And so I wish I could go back to that. Like can y'all listen to music as a fan? Like, can y'all listen to music? Can y'all listen to a song from the 70s and not think, I want to sample this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that shit is hard as fuck for me. Like, I wish I could listen to music without, like, analyzing. I just want to enjoy a song. I've been trying to practice that, actually.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely, for me at least, there's definitely a part of it that's I am analyzing like what's happening. I'm listening really deeply to all the textures and all the rhythmic stuff that's happening. Yeah, I mean, but it still feels great to listen to music. I don't know, it doesn't really feel that much different than when I was a kid listening to it. There's still that sense of like wonder and that kind of shit.
Yeah, it definitely still feels good, but that shit with all the shit that be happening now, that shit be making my hair hurt sometimes. Sometimes I just want to like hear a song.
Right.
And I don't know, I can't explain it, but yeah, that's my. We don't went into a whole nother shit, but that's my junk.
My first musical memory, and then I want to touch on what you were just talking about. Like, can you just listen to music? My first musical memory is a very random one. It is extremely random. When I was a kid, my dad, we used to always mess up his turntable playing records and stuff. I don't even remember what we were playing. I think we just wanted to scratch. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember anything specifically. I just remember just messing up. He had a belt drive turntable, and that's just the worst for trying to scratch. You know what I'm saying? But the very first, thing that I remember being memorable about listening to music was my dad had got us this Fisher Price, my first turntable junk. And this is before the streets, man. So anybody who know my story, by the time I was 7, shit changed in my life. You know what I'm saying? This is before then. So my dad could, was buying us, Fisher Price toys and shit. And it was cool because he had just found like a box of records at like a garage sale. He didn't even know what was in there, and he just gave it to us. And he was like, "Here you guys go. Now leave my records alone." Like that was the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Man, the first record we picked out of that joint, it was a 45, and it was from McDonald's.
Damn.
McDonald's
What?
had check me out. McDonald's put out a record, a 45 record.
I was went platinum.
Son, hold on. McDonald's put out a record, and it was the Micro Machine Man, and he was saying everything on the menu, like in less than like 30 seconds or something crazy. It was like Big Mac, quarter pounder. He was saying everything mad fast.
Mind control, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so the whole thing, like, you were watching McDonald's commercials, and it was like, if you can say the menu as fast as the Micro Machine Man, you get a free Happy Meal or some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And so this is me and my brother listening to this record. Big Mac, quarter pounder. We trying to figure that shit out. Bring it back, man. We messing
Mind
up.
control,
We're
bro.
never gonna get this job. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my first musical memory is trying to get a meal from McDonald's by saying a record that they were singing from the Micro Machine Man. And you know what's funny is like I think that record is worth like mad money right now. Is it you pulling it up, kid? Like
Yeah.
Damn. When is that $5 million?
Holy what?
McDonald's was giving away $5 million, bro.
yeah, bro.
No way.
That shit was crazy.
Bro, that's crazy, yo.
I'm on that shit. Yeah, I see what y'all was on.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
That was it. And then to touch on like, can you still listen to music? Like, it's funny you say that, man, because I was thinking about that literally 48 hours ago, and I think I've come to the conclusion that like, okay, yes, I have my I've been like this forever, bro. Like, I remember being 19 and my brother take me to the club and everybody, you know, listening to
Yeah.
music, and I'm like in the middle, just like, huh, this kick knocks harder than the kick from the last song. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you know, I'm just stuck in that. No, the girls is coming up to me, hey, what's your name? I'm like, hold on.
No. Wait for the bridge.
This one must have used tube compression. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, but now I think I've gotten to the point where I kind of look at it as like that kind of tells me how great the music is. So like a dope beat is a dope beat and I'll analyze it. An amazing beat is like the first time I listen to it, I'll just absorb it emotionally. And then the second time it's like, all right, how'd they make it? You know what I'm saying? Then like phenomenal out of this world music, I just forget I'm a musician. It immediately makes me a kid. I have no idea how they're doing any of this shit, but it doesn't matter. It's like it skips the music medium and just goes straight to emotional content.
Yep.
You know, and there's certain artists who can trigger that in me more consistently than others. Like that was part of like my first digestion of a Flying Lotus, right? Like he would just like. There was no figuring out what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah,
like you
bro.
just,
That's right.
it was just,
Niggas
it was just
alien.
emotion. Like that was it. You know what I'm saying? D'Angelo's Voodoo. Like to me, you know, if you would ask me how many instruments was on, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. It's not music to me. He is injecting emotion directly to your veins.
Yeah.
You know, and there have been countless artists, Al Green, you know what I'm saying, who have done that for me. You know, and so that's. I just kind of look at it as like, you know, when I find that upper echelon, it'll do that for me, you know. But also not to be ashamed of my analytical ear, and kind of use that to my advantage. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I experienced that. I was watching that new Kid Cudi documentary on Amazon, and they played "The Pursuit of Happiness," and I had my guitar in my hand, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I forgot about this song." You know, and I was like, "Let me figure out the chords real quick," and it's 3 chords, you know, and the key of C, it's just C, F, and G. Like it's the simplest chord progression ever, but like when you're listening to it, you're not thinking about, you know, how complex the chords are and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. There are certain songs and artists that can pull you out of that analytical thing. Like Joe Pass does that for me a lot. But then again, at the same time, like I listen to it and then I'm like, I gotta figure out what the fuck he's doing. You know,
Yeah.
I need to
sure.
learn that.
Yeah.
But I think my first musical memory is when I was a little kid. My uncle had a drum set, and the brand, like on the front kick head, it said Atom, like ATOM. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. I'm supposed to play the drums. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, McDonald's is brainwashing, man. The drum set brainwash you.
Bruh. And then around that same time, there was this movie called That Thing You Do that was like on TV randomly. And there was a scene where the drummer in the band, it's about a band from the 60s, like a fictional band. And there's a scene where the dude's in the studio, just the drummer, the band had just left, and he's in there just playing, and like the mics are set up, and I was just like, yo, that looks so fucking cool, you know? And he played this like dum ga ga dum ga da da dum ga ga, and I was like, yo, that's cool. I think I can do that. So I like go outside to the garage, hop on the kit. I can't reach the foot pedals, but I played the beat or whatever, and from then on, like I just kept playing drums, and my uncle gave me that drum set, and just continued on from there. Yeah.
Crazy. That's what's up.
It's an amazing origin story.
Yeah.
Right? I learn more and more about this guy every day.
But yeah, and when I've like ever since I can remember, I've wanted to be in a band. Like I remember being in like first grade or kindergarten, drawing an album cover for my band that didn't exist yet. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna be playing the drums. You know, the band's gonna be called Vessel. That was the name of the band. I had like this whole shit. I had it all figured
That's so
out.
dope, man. I shared that same experience where everything that I wanted, I drew it. That's how I got the mask. The I Make Mad Beats mask was me, exploring, and I drew it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's cool to hear that, man.
I got pictures that I would never show anybody that I drew of like a rap. Like I was a DJ and like my cousin was rapping at the time, and he was a rapper, and I would like color our outfits and shit like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it really was more so for the outfits at that time, like than even the music for me. Like I used to be like, damn, we gonna wear this fit. I used to try to draw Jordans and shit. That shit was man trash though.
It's crazy how much we were manifesting our realities now as a kid.
Yep.
Facts.
Even more then
You
than
know what I
that.
mean? Like we
That's
had
crazy.
the innocence to
Mhm.
dream like huge dreams. Like,
Yeah.
we had no context for what was possible.
Yeah.
That shit, so,
It's ultra real.
yeah.
I think like it started off definitely as like a more innocent thing, and then it was like by the time I was in like 10th grade, 11th grade, I would like intentionally like draw myself in the future, or like draw a future version of myself, and like imagine and think like what all I want. Like I still have a picture where I did this in like 9th grade, where I had like my own attire and my own like my whole like style of like I had like designer everything, but it was all my shit, some shit I made up. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then and then there was basically like the ultimate me. I'm a artist. I'm on stage. All this shit.
Yep.
And then it got like a lot more serious in terms of like the hat I would wear. I started drawing myself without glasses because I want to eventually just be having contacts. I want to draw myself.
Right.
Before I cut all my hair off, I drew myself bald as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
real.
Red hat and all that stuff. The type of clothes I want to wear.
Is this a thing? Is this hold on. Just quickly. Is this like a known thing that people do, or is this just us because we're creatives?
I
Like,
don't know.
because there's clearly a pattern here.
Yeah.
I would have never even said, like, the drawings were so ass, I would have
Bro.
never even mentioned that, because I don't want a nigga to be like, yo, let me see. The shit was so ass, bro. I would have never even said that, so I definitely think that's like a normal thing.
I was fucking with
And I used to hide that shit as a kid. Like, I used to think I was gonna get checked for that shit. And so, like, the books used to be under my bed.
right.
Man. What's my...
Niggas was drawing like Vagina and shit. Like that was the cool shit. I'm in that bitch.
I was definitely drawing.
I'm in that bitch drawing a picture of me and my cousin
Right.
and some dickies.
Right.
I couldn't afford all the like action figures I wanted, especially like the Dragon Ball Z ones.
Right.
Because back like when I was in like middle school or elementary school, them shits were expensive. I saw like a fucking a Super Saiyan like Kid Gohan joint in like Walgreens for like $10. I'm like, what? But like I would
it's,
like
it's worth it.
I had like an old like HP computer. I would look up Dragon Ball Z characters. I draw in and color it in on a piece of paper. I cut that shit out, turn it to the back, color the back of that shit, and just like fold the joints.
Yeah.
And I was fucking them joints up, man.
That's dope.
But
That's dope.
that's not.
They was eating them jets. I was fucking them jets up. Had to catch up.
Did you like crumble little pieces of paper and color them blue for the energy blast?
I ain't
and
even
shit?
go that
You know
far
what I'm
into
saying?
it. My imagination did literally the rest of everything. Like my imagination was like, it's right there. I see it.
Was you making the sound effects too?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yo, you don't even know. When I had my room, like in 2009, I had a whole cinematic universe for all the action figures in my room and shit, bro.
In 09, bro.
The star of that shit, bro, I swear to God, the star of that shit was this fucking the oldest toy I ever had in my life. It was like this fucking, this fucking plush duck toy with like the fucking the shit. It was a whole thing. That nigga eye was gone. He was old. That nigga had an eye patch. It was crazy. Anywho, my first musical memory
Was 2010.
Yeah.
when I was born. My first musical memory was like the early 2000s was like a wild ass time for music, or at least music in
Man,
the
early
household.
2000 was so lit, bro.
So like, in terms of not like
Gotta play some
memory, in terms of like hearing, the first music and shit I remember like hearing and like internalizing and just in such a way that like felt like euphoria, but it also felt like, oh, this is just what life is like, because that's literally like all I knew. It was a whole bunch of Testimony Volume 1 by NDRE.
Early 2000s, baby. Come on, man.
I wasn't even on the rap tip. Yeah, it was mainly like,
Oh yeah, Neo Soul. You said NDR.
yeah, Neo Soul. It was who is Jill Scott? It was Baduism.
Well, they had the streets to the
Like-
chokehold.
Really, man.
It was a whole
on
that,
that
and
Life
then
Jennings.
It was like,
Life Jennings, bro.
Yeah.
it was. I definitely remember hearing Life Jennings.
Jagged Edge, them type
That's on like my
things.
mama's side of things, and then it was like on my dad's side of things. It was like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Metallica, like you know what I'm saying.
That's just what my uncle was listening to.
Yeah, and it was like that, and then it was also like, then I go to like one of his shows and he was like doing like IMC gents, and it'd just be like crazy, you know what I'm saying, Memphis hip hop shit, and then it would also be like, well, yeah, I think that's most of what I don't think I heard like more of like the Memphis trap stuff until like high school. That's in terms of like what I remember like hearing musically. I think my first musical memory in terms of like I can see this happening is like when did Superman Returns come out?
This man, I don't remember. Sometime in like 2016, bro. Like that,
Bro.
You know,
I feel like
My
that's
shit
what-
came
up. I was in
came out
third
in
grade.
2006.
Yeah,
Came out in
06.
2006.
I said that, bro. Come on.
Right.
You want to kick
It's not Jeopardy, bro.
Everybody stand up and get his man down.
It was that, and like right around the same time I was like 5 years old, and I was just playing at like a small drum set. You would bring it to motherfucking
Spring of 2015,
church.
I was 5, bro.
2006. I was 5. I had like a small drum set, and we would have it at the church, and I would play drums at the church or whatever. And then that was mainly what I was doing. And then for some reason, I don't know why this specific jump, but my dad is like an ultra big Superman fan. We watched Superman Returns, and I really liked the movie at the time. It was a scene where like this little kid was playing the piano. He was doing the dun 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 dun, and I was like, ooh, this is something I can learn with one finger. And that was like my intro to learning piano, and I literally like did that whole shit like a video game where I would start with one finger, eventually get to 2, and then like over the course of like a few years it was like, okay, now I'm learning, you know what I'm saying, full composition jazz.
Yeah. That's dope.
I say that's my first musical memory I can remember.
It is dope.
And on the what was it can you listen to music?
Oh yeah, yeah.
anywhere, John? I say on that tip, like,
No.
yeah, it's like a mix. It's definitely like a mix. I think, cause like how you were talking about Neem, like in kind of in a sense, like that's definitely how I viewed music. Like all I knew in terms of music was the analytical aspect of it. Like the reason why like the first memories is just hearing it and feeling like it's life with like the neo soul stuff and all that stuff was because that's because my brain wasn't developing enough. So that was the only way I could absorb the information. But like any media, like any movie I watched, like Lion King, I had to have like the double DVD set for every movie because I had to watch the behind the scenes. I had to like watch the movie and then watch the directors do a commentary on the whole movie, like, and it's elementary school all the way up. And so that's how it was with music. And since like I thought, okay, if I can't analyze it, then it fucking sucks, which is not true. And so I was definitely like 7th grade. I was definitely like, I had a lot of like angry old head energy on some like, man, fuck this mumble rap shit, fuck this trap shit, all this shit trash. If you not Eminem, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, man.
Which
that's
is
real.
very, just very like ridiculous, way of thinking, but that's just like where my head
I
was
feel like
at.
all of us had some version of that though.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Cash Out came out with this shit, Cashing Out, and that shit made me hate like all Atlanta rap, like all that type shit was like. I remember like,
cash,
bro, Cashing Out did it for me, bro. I was done with that shit.
Like it took literally like what 9th grade, 10th grade. Bad and Bougie came out, and I was like,
That's when you got naked.
No way.
I swear to God. So it was like, okay, 7th grade, 8th grade, like Eminem, that's my favorite rapper ever, blah, blah, blah. And then like 9th grade, I realized this nigga just rhyme words. He just rhyme words, which is dope, but like
Damn,
I started
man,
craving
right?
more of like the substance, all that stuff, Kendrick Lamar, like 2015 shit. I was like, okay, like all that like dope stuff. And then, I don't know, something happened in 2016. Bad and Bougie came out, and I was like, everybody fuck with this song. Why does everybody fuck with this song?
This man went through puberty.
And
To Bad and Bougie.
that's how I learned how to like tune, like how to change the way I listen to music to where I can just take in the music and just like listen to how the music makes me feel. And then that's when like my music taste and shit, like my Spotify just went crazy, and I was just listening to just everything from just like trap shit, mama shit, like hip hop shit, jazz shit, classical shit, fucking Albanian moose music. I don't know, just making up just different wild shit, and just like taking in the music as music, which is mainly, a source of feeling, made from feeling, for people to feel. What am I talking about? That's
I don't know, fam.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I think it was like something to the effect of like feeling some sort of like snobbery about.
Yeah. I look back at that and cringe all the time. I was like so snobby about that type of shit.
I've definitely had
definitely was.
experience for myself, like early on as a guitarist. Like I would learn like a new thing, and I'd be like, go play a gig, and then the other guitar player takes a solo, and like, oh, they don't even know this, bro. They don't even know the major seven. They don't know, they don't know this.
Or you don't know the circle of fifths,
Right,
bro?
like whatever it was. And then, before that it was like, oh, they don't know this band. They don't know this, they don't know that. So like I'm definitely super glad that I made it past that.
Hipster energy.
You in the party like, they don't even know who sings. They don't even know who wrote this shit.
Bro, like, seriously, that was
Y'all niggas don't even know who wrote this shit.
time, you know what I mean?
I've definitely been that guy.
But I was just like, I think what it was is I just was really proud of the work that I'd put in to learn the shit, and I wanted people to know I knew it. I guess on some shit like that, I wanted that validation. But I feel like the validation should just come from you,
Yeah. I feel that I'm 8%.
Yeah.
A million.
Yeah.
I remember when that song came out, I was like 6 years old.
Damn. Right? Yeah. Elo was.
Damn, how old was he with me? Millie, you probably was 3.
That was like 2006.
What time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said you was
5 years
5.
old.
That's
What
crazy.
happened?
A Millie, Lil Wayne.
That's crazy.
Millie, I did like that song. Though. I did fuck with Lil Wayne.
Bangladesh had the streets
Dude,
on
in
a
high
lot.
school, Lil Wayne was my favorite.
Lil Wayne was
rapper
that
ever.
nigga.
But that was like his era.
Yeah.
Like, like 2006,
Yeah.
2009 era.
Yeah.
And nigga was coming for Jay-Z. And that's wild. That's wild to even say.
My first musical memory was my great grandmother. She used to sing to us, and every day that we was over there, and like she made us learn this song called "I'm Available." I don't know who it's by, but it's like an old, like kind of like gospel song, and that was the first song I ever learned. Sang it in church at a talent show, like a showcase. I don't even remember singing it, but I've seen video of me singing it, like real little, like 4 years old, kind of young. But I definitely remember learning that song with my great grandmother.
Bro,
That's dope.
I lied. That was my first. You just reminded me of what my first memory was. My mama made me sing "Yes, Jesus Loved Me" when I was like 2 or 3 or some shit, and I would sing it at church, and then we would go to different churches, and I would just sing it at any church I went to. They made me go in front of everybody and sing that song.
That boy was getting money.
Nope.
That boy was on tour.
I love it. Doki felt like a tour though.
Boy was on tour. Yeah, 2. Kid, did you kill the talent show?
The way they
wasn't really.
tell it is that like I just was fascinated with hearing myself in the microphone. Like as a kid, I wasn't very shy when it came to like performance. Like they would tell, I mean, this is all stuff I don't remember, but they would tell me stories that like at like family gatherings, I would like be wanting to sing and I would like stop and tell people to listen to me.
Yeah.
like if I wasn't getting enough attention that way. Yo.
Check out my mixtape.
You're supposed to be a rapper, bro.
Check out my
Insane. I mean, I was a rapper for a long time.
He was around
Yeah.
like, listen.
I was a rapper.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. Yo, what I said? I said,
What I said?
Yo, if I hear Nova go like, "Hey yo, bruh,"
Right. Hey yo.
he had the
Hey,
same
yo.
pitch voice as
Right.
Westside Gun. It would be crazy. Westside. But yeah, that's my first musical memory. I do feel like I can listen to music as a fan, similar to what you guys are saying. Like, if it hits you a certain way, like, man,
I remember one time specifically with you, man. I remember listening to Hiatus Coyote
I was just
by
finna
Fire.
say that, yeah.
bro, I was just about to.
I
Hold
was
on.
just finna say that.
I remember listening to that with you, and then I remember just being like so in awe of that song. And then I remember like the next day you came in here and you were like, I gotta learn how to play that lead line. And I remember being like, fuck that. Like, just let that shit play. Don't learn nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was so amazing. But I just remember you were like you were learning, like you wanted to take something from it. And I remember being conflicted about that. Like I'm just trying to listen. I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm just-
Yeah,
That definitely
that's that album, bro. I think,
Yeah.
I mean, probably by that point though, I had probably listened to it, you know, full and in full probably like 25 times. By that point, I think it's hard to listen to something like that many times and not like start to your brain to transform. But I definitely remember hearing it for the first time. I'll never forget sitting in the Mac lab. The Mac it was a computer lab that I used to work at U of M with but it had Macs in it instead of like regular computers. Because that's where like
Definitely used to be in the Mac lab.
and that's where they had like the software, like music software people could use and stuff like that, Logic and all that
Bro,
kind of
that's
stuff.
crazy. I ain't never see. I used to stay in this.
It was in the music building. I never seen you in the music building.
Bro, I was in there, bro. I was in the Mac
Man, I ain't
lab.
gonna lie to you.
Tough.
Like,
Hold on. What I was saying was, I just remember, I remember listening to that junk and like, fam, this was the same day I heard that album for the first time, and then either same day or same week, and then I discovered Knowledge. Same shit. Like, it was like, bro, this is amazing. I just listened to it over and over again. And eventually that did turn into analyzing, but it was definitely on some fan shit. Like, if it hit you, it hit you.
man, 20.
that's so interesting to me, bro. Like your growth,
Oh yeah.
your story, Kid Maestro. So you guys don't understand when Kid Maestro first came through. Like, it's so, to me, it's so interesting that Kid Maestro fell in love with Knowledge, and then eventually, you know, just all things Madlib and, you know, that whole world or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't already on some instrumental stuff. I think he was, but like, you guys should have seen the look on his face when like I started talking to him about sampling. Like, it just looked like it was such an odd, foreign thing to him, you know, and especially something like sampling off of vinyl. It was just like what the sampling? Like, it was almost like a snobby thing. Like, he was like, sampling. You know what I'm saying? So to see him go from that to like, you know, Knowledge is the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, fam, that's a real 180 right there.
Yeah, sampling was just not really, it's not something really available to me.
Yeah.
And like, I felt like, you know, Kanye West was like one of my favorite artists, but so was Timbaland. And I know Timbaland definitely had samples, but they didn't really sound obviously like samples. This like like the songs of Kanye West's that were like obviously samples, like that was I wouldn't say like I was enamored by it, like it was like Magic, but it was such a mystery, like it was something you can't analyze, like, because I didn't really know how to do it. Like my idea was sampling, or my, like when I think like, yeah, I want to sample something, like is like a vocal one shot, like like that kind of, like,
Sure.
that was like the extent of sampling for me. I learned how to sample right here in Dirty Socks, y'all.
Yep.
Yo,
Studio B. I just was
sampling
like,
shit. I like, it was literally no way for me to sample. Obviously, I could only sample my own voice, but
damn.
like when I got the iPad, there was still not a way for me to sample, or at least that I didn't know. But I, like, before I got my iPad, I had like a bunch of like ideas of what I wanted to sample. It was this part in Nature Boy by Nat King Cole. It was like a small section of like the instrumental break part, and I was like, bro, it's gonna be a whole beat. I'm about to sample that. I'm about to loop it. It's gonna be some crazy shit. But I just was like, so I got GarageBand, and I didn't know how to get the file, how to get it on my shit. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get the sampler tool part on there. I'm move this jump behind my raggedy fucking speaker from my monitor for like my like HP computer, and I would just play that part of the jump and like do the whole shape it, do all that shit, and then loop it. And it ended up, the beat sound like ass. I mean, well, sound quality wise, but it was I had an idea, I had a general idea, and it actually kind of pulled off pretty well, because it only got like the high frequency of it. It got 0 low, really zero mid.
You get the high pass on automatic.
Yeah, like, and so that's why I did like all my samples. I would just record from the back. I would basically do the Monte jump out of necessity.
bruh, 0 mid sound like a Wiz Khalifa mixtape.
Tizo touchdown.
Get the mids.
Get the mid. I just be sad.
0 mid.
I just be saying shit.
Yeah. So we got 2 minutes left? 1 minute left?
Damn.
So any final thoughts, my G's, before we log off?
Man. Nah. You know what I'm saying? I could think of a few things, but I don't think I should say them yet. So, nah, I'll save it. Hey, y'all just stay tuned. Get the app, man. Unapologetic World app. Available for iOS and Android devices, all right? Go and get that right now. You can't be a fan of us and don't have the app. I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Get that shit. Go get that shit.
Go get the app. You know what I mean? And in that, we're going to be making some very special announcements really soon. I was about to right now, but nah, I'm going to chill. Just go get the app. Salute.
Spilling the
But yeah, and I'm once again spam this link, you know what I'm saying? Unapologeticstore.com.
Yes, sir.
Vagina, you know what I'm saying? Right on motherfucking cue.
Yes, sir.
Vaginas are out now.
Go get a vagina.
Yeah, pull that hat up, you know what I'm saying? You see that?
You see that?
Unapologeticstore.com. Hit that, you know what I'm saying? Go buy some stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
All
You know what I
right?
mean? Y'all know what the business is.
Y'all know the vibes. Let's get it. Gang.
Y'all know the vaginas.
Hold on. And I'm finna do the outro. The
The
outro.
Unapologetic World app is
Unapologetic
available
World
now
app.
on Android
Yo,
and
they can hear
iOS
us through
devices.
wireless. Yeah, for sure.
You like exclusive
That's
shit?
hilarious to me.
Weird shit,
Yeah,
dope
bro.
shit,
Yeah,
informative